Recently, I've been working hard on some new Stardew Valley content, and I'm not gonna lie, juggling my full-time job and making YouTube content, I really needed to wind down. So I decided to take things a little easy, and decided to take a rest from Stardew Valley challenges, and playing games with making content in mind, and decided to take a rest by, playing Stardew Valley in another thematic run. No, but seriously, this is me taking a rest, believe it or not. Anyways, for my supposedly break from my intensive work, I wanted to play Stardew Valley in the perspective of a lumberjack. The rules are as follows. I can only make profit by selling wood-related products, mushrooms, and forage. Things that only a lumberjack living in the wilderness could scavenge. This means I could only sell things such as wood, sap, wild forage, mushrooms, wild seed packets produced from tappers, and you get the picture. So that means I won't be selling any farm produce such as crops, animal products, honey, fishes, mining related products, and etc. I will be able to grow and consume them however, and I will also be able to gain money from quests and bulletin mods as that is just inevitable. I wanted to play this thematic run for a long time, but thought it would be just so boring with me growing trees and sticking tappers on them. However, because of the new update, there are new trees and cool mushroom boxes to play around with, so I thought this would be a good time to flesh out this challenge. My main objective here is to complete the community center, earn as much money as possible, and see how far I can take things in the span of 2 years in the game. So without further ado, here is life as a lumberjack in Stardew Valley. We start off with the creation of a brand new farm, and obviously the favorite thing our lumberjack likes is that sweet hardwood. I mean, who doesn't like getting some hardwood, right? Innuendo aside, I also have the CC and Mines remix as I like a bit of variety in the run, and decided to go ahead with the forest farm as I thought that would be thematically appropriate, and I wanted that sweet forage and extra hardwood on the farm. Day 1. Like every other playthrough, the starting of the first day of spring starts off with us clearing a nice little plot of land for the initial amount of parsnips that we get for free. Farming and planting crops, however, isn't my prerogative as forage and lumber is more important to me in the early game. These free parsnips will end up being used for energy in the completion of the CC. I decided it would be beneficial for me to do the initial quests as I need a little bit of extra money to fund my future endeavors. So I go around town introducing myself to the locals and harvest some forage in Cinesap Forest. After scavenging what I could find, I head home and hit foraging level 1. Day 2, I water my crops and begin my plan for starting my forest empire. Since I'm able to collect tree seeds now, I plan to chop a bunch of trees down and leave only the stumps behind, as I will need them to germinate more future tree seeds for me. I make sure to chop trees until I have no energy and replant some tree seeds down where I can. The third day is pretty much the same, but since I don't have to water my crops, I have a bit of more energy to spend on chopping down trees. I also decide to get a head start on laying down pathways for my tree farms and make a small patch of pine trees west of my house. I go ahead and spend the rest of my energy on chopping some acorn trees and make a small patch of acorn trees to the right side of my house as well. Day 4 is pretty much the same repeat of day 2 and 3 as I spend most of my day chopping down trees and gathering some forage. I also finish introducing myself to everyone and gain 100G for completing the quest. It's not much, but right now every little bit helps. The couple of days of foresting helps me reach foraging level 2. Day 5. My parsnips are finally ready, so I harvest them and get another 100G for completing another quest. I then plant down some mixed seeds that I gathered while clearing my farm and decide to spend today mining at the mines as it is finally open. I take my trusty pickaxe and 8 parsnips and plant together as much as copper ore as possible. I need a bunch of copper bars for the ridiculous amount of tappers that I will have to make. But while doing this, I had a feeling of deja vu, as this mission seemed eerily similar to when I was doing my life as a florist challenge, as I needed a lot of copper ore to craft for tappers for honey for beehives. If you haven't checked that out, feel free to do so, as you will help a struggling YouTuber out. Anyways, around 3 PM, I managed to hit flow level 10 and get a little upgrade to my weapon, as I obtained the Iron Dirk. It isn't the best weapon, but it does pack a little oomph than the rusty crappy sword, so it'll do for now. I make my way down even further and hit floor level 20 around 11:20 PM and get myself the wooden club, another great upgrade to my weapon. Since I have no more parsnips to chow down on, I decided to call it a day and head back home. I managed to get around 70 copper and 18 coal. Not the best haul, but it is what it is for the first day of mining. I hit level 1 in farming, mining, and combat. Day 6. I am blessed with another rainy day today, so I don't have to worry about spending my energy on watering crops. I place down my very first furnace and smelt my copper ores. My objective is to acquire a copper pickaxe and axe as quickly as possible, so I decide that today will be spent smelting my bars, chopping down all the trees on my farm and gathering as much as seeds and forage as possible. I craft a scarecrow in the middle of my logging session and craft another chest as I'm running out of space. After that, I craft 20 spring mixed seeds and plant them down as I want some quick foraging experience as well, and chopping down trees will only get you so far. I hit foraging level 3 and gain about 1502G from selling a bunch of forage sap, wood and tree seeds. Day 7, the amount of money I earned yesterday is perfect as I'm sitting above 2000 G and I have 5 copper bars, which means I can head over to Clint's and upgrade my axe. Before heading over to upgrade my axe, I pick up the invasive quest from the quest board. While waiting for Clint's to open, I realize that I completed the Scarecrow's quest, which means I gain another easy 100 G. I quickly toss my axe to Clint and then head over to the mines to farm some more copper ore. I repeat floor level 20 over and over again, and around 7:30, I'm able to complete the Bug Slayer eradication quest, which is perfect as I'm now able to get my beloved insect sword. There is a little hiccup, however, as I realize I still don't have access to the Adventurers Guild as I still haven't slayed the green slimes needed to open the doors. This isn't a huge inconvenience, and I decided to take things easy for now and plan to pick it up later as the elimination of green slimes will come naturally. Around 12 PM, I head on home, craft myself another furnace, and make sure to smell all my ores and organize my chests before turning into bed. I hit combat and mining level 2 and sell a couple of mushrooms for 355 G. Day 8. Since it's another rainy day and my axe isn't ready, I plan to head to the mines once more. I managed to make some good progress as by 1 PM, I'm able to hit floor 30 of the mines. I go even further down to floor 35 around 3 PM, but decide to progress further down later when I have upgraded my pickaxe as I don't have too much energy to spare right now. So I repeat floors level 20 to 25 and slay my 10th green slime around 8:20 and head to the Adventurers Guild to pick up my favorite insect sword. I prefer this so much more than the wooden club as the swing animation of the club is just way too slow for my liking. It is getting quite late, but I want to finish the crab eradication quest that I picked up a couple of days ago, so I try my luck rushing around the mines to find some rock crabs. I am unlucky however and pass out in the mines. This is no drawback however as I hit mining level 3. Another awesome day of rain starts off, day 9, and some of my mismatched crops are ready from the mixed seeds. I go ahead and harvest them and also plant down some carrot and mixed seeds that I picked up from adventuring. I then head on over to Clint's as my copper axe is finally ready. With my upgraded axe in hand, I start another day of deforesting in the sap forest and harvesting all the forage I can find. I also make sure to get a head start on accumulating some hardwood as now, with my copper axe, I'm able to chop down the 8 hardwood stumps on the farm. I hit foraging level 4, which is probably the most important level of all, as I now finally have access to the 2 of the most important craftable items for this challenge, the tapper and the mushroom logs. I start off day 10, as usual by taking care of the morning chores and head on out to unlock the CC and read the mysterious sigils on the broken down home. Then I head on over to the mines to unlock some floor levels. I don't have a lot of energy as I used it a lot to do some chores in the morning, such as cutting down the hardwood and watering my crops, but I have a couple of cave carrots handy, so I cross my fingers and start heading on down. I'm able to progress to floor 40 around 350, which is perfect as now I can get some iron ore and coal. I want to start amassing some iron and coal early as I need it for sprinklers and to also upgrade my tools later down the road. It isn't something so urgent right now, but I decided to start this process a little early so I don't have to worry about it later. I decided to call it quits a little early today around 9 PM as I picked up a gathering quest early from the board. All I needed was 10 iron ore, so I headed on over to the saloon and talked to Clint for an easy 240 G. The amount of resources that I managed to scrounge up during the mines was nothing too impressive, but it was enough for me to upgrade my tools later down the road, if need be. I hit mining level 4. Day 11. Like always, my day starts off with doing the farm chores. From here on out, you can assume that I'm always smelting my ores, watering my crops, and also chopping down the hardwood on my farm. I clear some debris on the farm, waiting for the wizard's tower to open. I also harvest some forage while picking up Robin's axe, then talking to the wizard so I can finally gain access to all the bundles in the CC. I then head to Robin's, handing over her axe for an easy 250 G. After that, I go to the convenience center and hand in the materials for both the spring forages bundle and the construction bundles as well. I check out what I need to do and look at all the bundles I have to complete, and thank the Juminous spirits as they're all relatively easy bundles. Before calling it a day, I walk on over to Pierce selling the mixed spring seeds that I got as a reward from the CC for some quick money and buy myself the very first bag upgrade. Day 12, nothing too interesting happened here, as it was just another day of grinding at the mines for some coal and iron ore. I made my way down to floor 45 around 240 and spent the rest of the day just grinding for coal and iron ore. I hit combat level 3. Day 13. A lot of my crops were ready for harvest, so I got to work harvesting them. I also decided to start a maple tree farm right in front of my house as well. I planted down the seeds and started laying down some basic pathways so they wouldn't germinate out of control, as I kind of wanted things to be somewhat visually appealing. Well, it isn't pretty for now, but hopefully we'll make it look pretty later. I also plant down 40 more spring wild seeds as I plan to bank as much as spring forageables to sell for profit before the season ends. I skipped the festival today and hit farming level 2 and foraging level 5, which I picked forester for the extra wood. Day 14 to 16 I spent taking care of the chores at the farm, cutting down as much as wood as possible, replanting down trees around the farm, including some great mahogany tree seeds that I got from chopping down the tree stumps as well, and also going around town harvesting them delicious salmonella berries. Yes, I use this joke every single time in all my videos. I know it's not funny, but it's too late to back out now. Salmonella berries will be my trademark. Day 17. Besides the same things that I did in the previous days, the only noteworthy thing that I did today was that I finally had all the crops I needed for the spring crops bundle, so I decided to complete that one as well. I also hit foraging level 6. Day 18 was finally a rainy day, which meant that I could take a break from all the watering that I had to do. I planted some more maple trees down around my maple tree seed farm and got on back to the manual labor that I had to do around the farm, which meant another riveting day of just going around the farm and seeing the sap forest, chopping down some wood. I know, right? This is some awesome gameplay. Sarcasm aside, I have probably cut down thousands and thousands of trees in the countless hours I spent in Stardew Valley, but for some reason it's still as tranquil as it can ever be. Is that just me? Day 19. I head back into the mines to make some more progress in the levels and also to farm some resources where I can. I try to mine all the big rocks I can find as well, as I plan to make a bunch of tree fertilizers, and so stone and fiber are quite valuable resources for me. I reach floor level 50 around 7 PM and pick up the silver saber from the rewards chest. It isn't a great weapon, however, as my insect head is just leagues above it. Day 20, my 40 spring wild forages are finally ready. It was a rainy day and I was quite tempted to craft 90 more spring packets to plant down, but I really couldn't be bothered to water them for the next 7 days, so I just tossed them into the shipping bin for now. I wanted to upgrade my pickaxe as quickly as possible, so this would enable me to gain the funds in order to do so. After taking care of my chores, I realized that I still had a lot of copper ore for the amount of tappers I needed, so I decided to head back to the mines in order to harvest some copper, stone, and fiber. I racked up 80 copper, 120 stone, 80 fiber, and a bunch of other miscellaneous goods. Before heading back to bed, I plucked on the witch's hat on my dog and gained 3,500 G from the sales of the spring forage seeds. Day 21. This meant that I could finally upgrade my regular pickaxe to a copper one. Since I couldn't head to the mines, I spent the rest of the day chopping trees and forage. I hit foraging level 7. Day 22. I started off the day crafting some tree fertilizers and started applying them to all the important tree patches around the farm. I wanted to be all grown up before I start placing down tappers, as I want everything to be neatly synchronized. There's just something about harvesting things willy-nilly, and that really kinda irks me. Is that just me, or is that you guys too? Day 23. My copper pickaxe is ready to collect, and I'm once again heading back to the mines. I want to make some more progress in the floor levels, and by 9:30 AM, I'm ready to head down to floor 60. Hot take. I know a lot of people don't like the spiral floors, but for me, I actually quite like them, as I like the crates in the middle. Call me crazy, but there is just something so satisfying about making it to the middle and to be greeted by all that delicious loot. Well, the loot isn't that great, but one can hope, right? Floor 60 rewards was a crystal dagger, nothing too spicy. I ended the day with some mediocre loot, but it is what it is. During the night, a crop fairy came to visit me, which is pretty funny as I only had 3 crops growing. I hit level 5 in mining, which I obviously picked miner for the extra ore. Day 24. I didn't bother going to the flower festival as I had no one as of the moment and decided to just mine for the copper ore for the whole day. I hit farming level 3 and combat level 4. I guess the crop fairy did kinda help, but well, not really. I like to be positive though. Day 25. A lot of my trees that in my tree plantation was finally ready, so I decided it was finally time. I crafted a bunch of tappers and started placing them all on the trees, acorn trees and pine trees for now. The maple trees would have to wait as I wanted to expand the maple tree farm just a little bit more, and like I said, I'm kind of a sucker for things being in sync, so the tappers will have to wait for now. Day 26 is spent at the mines once more as I'm trying to gather more copper ore for the future tappers, and day 27 is spent chopping trees and gathering the last bit of forage I can. I also decide that it is time to choose a partner to spend the rest of my life as a lumberjack. I decided to choose Leah as she loves wood sculptures and crafting, and I thought she was thematically appropriate for this run, so I buy a salad from Gus and give it to Leah to initiate the very first step. Day 28. Nothing too special happens on the last day of spring, as I do the same, chopping down some hardwood and attending to do some last minute chores before the season changes. I hit fishing level 1 as Willie was bribing me to go fishing, and foraging level 8. Day 29, the first day of summer is here. The changes of seasons really doesn't do anything too much for me, as I have nothing really to do that is really locked behind any season really, as all I need is just trees and mushrooms. Summer is however a very important season for me, and I'll explain to you when the time comes. For now, I continue on the grind of harvesting all the hardwood on my farm, stacking up a decent amount, and keep replanting trees and clearing out the debris on the farm. After, I go to Piers to get a couple of crops so that I'll be able to complete the CC bundles. I try not to spend too much as I'm short on cash and buy just what I need for now. I go home, plant everything down and call it a day. I hit mining level 6. Day 30, a batch of pine tar is ready. From here on out, whenever my tappers are ready, you can assume that I'm harvesting them, whether they be pine, oak or maple. And after harvesting them, I need to get some prep work done. There are 2 things that I need to do today. First, I need to craft a bunch of tappers as my batch of maple trees are finally ready. And also, I need to craft some lightning rods as I need to protect my farm and trees from the elements. I also plant down a bunch of tree seeds down as I'm looking forward for some special rain. Day 31 and 32 are spent just taking care of chores, chopping down wood and gathering a bunch of iron ore and coal from the mines. Day 33, I wake up to the 5th day of summer to a strange green hue. This was the day I was looking forward to, as this would be so beneficial for me. See, this is one of the green rain events that would make all my trees grow to fully fledged tree if possible, and also have them drop some moss. There are also a bunch of weeds that are around the farm and around the valley that will also drop this precious moss. I really need and want all the fiber and moss for a couple of reasons. The fiber is pretty self-explanatory as I need them along with the stone to craft tree fertilizers. And the moss, I need them in order to craft a bunch of mushroom logs. Mushroom logs are gonna be my biggest money maker, so I will need a lot of moss, and trust me, there is just not enough moss to go around. I make sure to make the most of this day and I head back home around 1:30 AM. Day 34. I've gathered around 308 moss and I've amassed about 655 hardwood. So now it is finally time for me to craft some mushroom logs. I'm able to craft about 30 mushroom logs and I place them near my maple trees as this will be the most ideal placement for them now, as they will produce the most amount of purple mushrooms. Day 35. I feel like I need to expand my tree empire. So I take a couple of leftover seeds and head on over to the train station and plant down my tree seeds down. I plan to keep on planting more trees down here in the future and hopefully let them to grow up in order for them to eventually gather moss on them as well. I also head down to Robin's to buy a couple of decoration recipes and lay down some wooden pathways on my farm to further decorate the place a little bit more. It ain't the prettiest, but hopefully it will slowly develop into something. I sell some pine tar and oak resin for 3,550 G. Day 36 is another day of taking care of chores and some bulletin board quests and mining for some ore and coal. Not to bore you with the grindy details, whenever it is an uneventful day, I would just say from now on that it was just spent grinding for materials. Day 37, the 9th day of summer, is a very important day as my very first batch of mushrooms are ready. This new mushroom log is pretty OP, but the high cost of moss does make it hard to mass produce in the early stages of the playthrough. I'm hoping to fill my farm to the brim with these bad boys. I then head on over to Clint's to upgrade my axe to a steel axe for 5,000 G, and it's off to the mines to mine for some copper ore. I hit mining level 7. Since I need a bunch more tappers, I spent day 38 just at the mines grinding for some copper. I start off day 39 with a bunch of tappers ready. The maple syrup and the oak resin will add to my funds, allowing me to really expand my empire as now I'm getting multiple sources of passive income. It ain't huge money, but it's definitely worth it as I'm still hurting for a lot of cash. After taking care of my morning routine, I head to the summer luau with a golden summer squash and toss it into the hot pot. It isn't incredible, but it's better than nothing, I guess. I sell a bunch of tap products for an easy 5k. Day 40 to 41. I feel like today is a good day to take it easy and take a break from all the grinding and take a bunch of geodes and artifacts to donate to the museum. I also pick up my steel axe from Clint's and process my geodes and donate them to the museum, going back and forth. I also toss in my pickaxe to upgrade to a steel one as well. Since I have an upgraded axe, I decide to visit the secret woods and add the harvesting of the hardwood here to my normal routine of farm chores as well. I sell all my mushrooms for 11k. Not too shabby. Having earned all that money, Demetrius comes along and offers to turn my empty cave to a mushroom cave. I decided to pick the mushroom cave even though it had been nerfed because A, I always pick the mushroom cave and it's just so much better, and B, now it comes with an awesome free dehydrator, something that will absolutely improve my money making potential. Since I have a little bit of money in the bank, I also decided to go ahead and buy the dehydrator recipe from Piers as well. I then pick up my steel pickaxe from Clint's and call it a day. Day 43. With my upgraded tools, I decide that now I'm somewhat decently equipped to go ahead and finish off the mine levels. So I head onto the mines and make it to floor 87 before deciding that I am not ready and just get a bit of gold ore to use for later. But the most important thing to me was that now I needed fire crystals and I needed it to make more dehydrators later down the road. Day 44. I have just enough resources to make 2 more dehydrators. It isn't a lot, but it will have to do for now, and I make sure to make them work endlessly, turning my mushrooms into more profitable dry versions. I then head back to the mines with the objective to head deeper into the mines. I finally get my very first own star drop at floor 100 just before midnight. Day 45. Since clay is one of the ingredients required to craft dehydrators, I think that it is worth the investment to upgrade my normal hoe into a copper hoe in order to farm some clay later. And yes, I know about clay farming, but I'm not using the legacy seeds, nor do I want a clay farm, as I never do that in one of my videos. As I think clay farming just kinda makes things way too easy. I'm not against it, so if you do use it, I have nothing against you. Each to their own. I just decide not to use it. Anyways, today is the day that I make it even further down and reach floor 110 and net myself the much needed space boots, upgrading my equipment even further. Day 46. I finally complete the regular mines around 8 PM, netting myself the Skull Cavern's keys. I can't do anything with it right now, but it's good to have for now, as I really need to net myself some precious resources in order to craft some future crystallariums, as I want to duplicate the fire quartz. Since there is still some time left, I decide to head to the CC and complete the entirety of the boiler room bundles, netting myself a lucky lunch, a furnace, and some Omni Geodes as rewards. The only thing that is really useful is probably the lucky lunch here, as the other rewards are pretty mediocre. I also complete the summer crops bundle for a quality sprinkler, and then the summer wild forage bundle, and also the exotic forage bundle as well. Day 47 to 48, I take care of my morning chores, heading over to Clint's and pick up my upgraded copper hoe. I start tilling around the village while walking around, as I'm in desperate need for some clay. I also sell a bunch of dried mushrooms, summer seeds, and tapped goods for a beautiful lump sum of close to 40k, finally making some of that big bucks. Day 49 to 50, I've been slowly accumulating levels for all my skill trees, respectively, except for one particular skill, and that would be fishing. But in order to get the best tree in the game by far, the Mystic Tree, I need to have max levels in all my stats. So I decided to take a break from all the logging and mining that I've been doing, and try to gain some levels in fishing. Also, I really need to catch a bunch of fish in order to complete the fishing bundles in the CC as well. So like any normal beginner fisherman, I head on to Willie's at the beach, buy some trout soup, and start fishing like a maniac until the sun sets. I get a cutscene from Mr. Key finally dropping some of that mysterious loot boxes and hitting foraging level 10. Naturally, I go with Tapper as I want that extra push in profit and also hit fishing level 3. Day 51. I start off summer 23rd upgrading my axe into a gold axe for 10k. So pricey, but still I do want to upgrade all my tools to max level as well. I know it isn't one of the main objectives I set out to do at first, but I decided that I wanted to have that as well. Now, it's another day of fishing, so I head on over to Willie's, buy myself 10 crab pots, a fiberglass rod, and a bunch of bait. Then, I also head on over to the saloon and buy a bunch of salads from Gus, and give Leah one, as I slowly want to start working on my relationship with her. With all that little tangent out of the way, I head to Cindersap Forest and start fishing again. You know, it's quite funny as I've been playing this game for so many years and probably close to like 500 hours in the game, but I used to call Cindersap Forest Cinder Snap Forest. Don't ask me why, I just thought that was the name. Anyways, after a day of fishing, I hit fishing level 4 and I make about 7k in the bank from selling the usual mushroom, tapped goods, and forage. Day 52. I've been running out of mushrooms to dry in the dehydrator, so currently I've been mixing in some of my berries in there as well. Now, before you think I'm gonna go ahead and sell these, I'm not. I'm currently using these as an alternative source of energy, as munching down a handful of berries each time I lack energy is just really time consuming, and it's quite irksome to do so. Anyways, I head on over to the beach and harvest from my crab pots, and like always from here on out, you can assume that I'm harvesting from them every time I want that little bit of extra fishing experience. Then, it's off to the mountains to fish for some more diverse fish. I hit farming level 4 and fishing level 5. It really doesn't matter what I choose for the fishing level perk, as none of them are too important or helpful for this run. Day 53, I decided it was too tiring to run to the beach to collect from my crab pots, so I moved them to the small pond on the farm, and then headed over to the secret woods to start fishing there. I haven't really checked all the fish that I really need for the CC, but I'm just assuming that fishing all over the place will slowly but surely net me all that I need. I hit fishing level 6 and earn about 10k from another round of sales. Day 54. I decided to go and mine for some copper ore, as I still needed to make a bunch of tappers. And while I was getting kind of tired of fishing, so I decided to take a break. While mining for some copper, I thought that I should get some coal around 6 PM. I was pleasantly surprised as I found that it was an infested floor, and decided to find some dust sprite spear. I really contemplated if I should really restart the day to maximize my coal intake and then progress for my burglar's ring, but I decided against it and found dust sprites till I passed out. I didn't suffer any energy drawback, however, as I hit mining level 9. Day 55. After taking care of my morning chores, I head on over to Leah's to give her a salad as a present and stumble upon her heart event. This is actually the first time seeing this, as I never really tried to romance Leah. For me it was always Maro. She'll always be number 1. Click and like and comment down below if you agree. Anyways, after her second heart event, I gave her a salad and spent the rest of the day foraging for some moss and chopping down some trees. The last day of summer is here. I decided to lay down another huge plantation of acorn tree farm. I made sure to lay down appropriately. with the pathways so the trees don't germinate all over the place. I plan to tap them with tappers when they grow up, and to help them do so even quicker, I sprinkle them with some tree fertilizer. I also lay down some additional pathways around the house to beautify it a little bit, and also some wooden lampposts to create some much needed light around the farm. And also because I just wanted to decorate a little bit more. I made my last sale of the month for a decent 11k. Day 57. I start the first day of fall buying all the crops I need from peers. Since I've gathered a lot of ores from the mines, I have enough to craft some sprinklers. Since most of my farmland is taken over by trees and mushroom boxes, I don't have enough space to work with. And since I only have normal quality sprinklers to work with, the arrangement looks quite messy, but it has to do for now. I make my first fall sale of 7k. Day 58. Since today is raining and since it is a new season, I try to catch some extra fish for the CC. I first head to Willie's to get myself the iridium rod and a couple of bobbers, then dash on over to the town river and fish for the remainder of the day. Before heading on home, I head to the saloon and give Leah her weekly salad, and see that I have reached 3 hearts with her. I hit fishing level 7. Day 59. Around the mushroom boxes are ready for harvest. This is what it looks like as of the moment, and trust me, it's gonna get way bigger. After taking care of all that, I then hit to the mines and start grinding for some more. Day 60. I feel like completing some CC bundles, and since I've caught a lot of fish, I first complete the river fish bundle, then donate 2 out of the 3 night fishes, 2 out of the 4 specialty fishes, completing the lake fish bundle, donate 2 out of the 4 ocean fishes, and lastly complete the crab pot bundle. I'm still missing some of the fish for the bundle, but it'll only be a matter of time before I'm done with it. Unfortunately, it can't be done by year 1 as I missed some of my timing for some of them, but it's okay. I then head to the vault and buy the 2500 bundle and get my free chocolate cake. I also donate and complete the fall foraging bundle as well. Finally satisfied, I call it a day and made a total sale of 15k. Day 61, nothing interesting happens for the 5th day of fall as it's the normal routine of morning chores, and I made a small sale of 6k. Day 61, I head to the mines and mine for some fire quartz and some resources, then I head back home and craft 2 more dehydrators. I need a lot more, but I need to get my hands on a crystallarium soon. I hit combat level 7 and make another small sale of 3.7k. Day 62, more mushrooms are finally getting along with some crops. I also started wanting to make some additional mushroom boxes near my acorn tree farm, as all of them are now fully grown. I can only make 5 mushroom boxes for now, but you can assume that this will slowly but surely grow. I fished till night, and because I caught a sardine, I decided to donate it to the CC for the ocean fish bundle, and also buy the 25k bundle for a crystallarium in the vault before heading back home. I place the crystallarium down and plop in the fire quartz to start duplicating. Day 63 to 64. I spend the next couple of days fishing and harvesting my crops, which makes me hit fishing level 8. I make about 17k from a decent sale of mushrooms and forages. Day 65. Just take a beautiful look at these mushrooms and tappers ready for harvest. Such a mesmerizing sight. All this produce just ready to turn into money. I'm not gonna lie, it took quite a while to get here, but the farm slowly is turning into a passive farm of income. It's just always so pleasing to accomplish. I mean, we're still far from the end game and what I have in mind, but nevertheless, please appreciate the hard work and labor as much as I do. I also have picked up the cave patrol quest from the bulletin board to eliminate 50 skeletons, so I decided to head to the mines and just do that. I hit farming level 5 and decided to pick up tiller. Day 66. I start the day by getting the geode crusher recipe as a reward for completing the cave patrol quest, and head to Clint's to upgrade my hoe into a steel quality. Then I buy the rest of the vault bundles to repair the bus stop. Day 67. Nothing too special happens on the 12th of fall, as it's normal routine of foraging around and chopping down trees, but I do manage a big sale of 26k. Day 68. My first ancient fruit is finally ready for harvest. Like most of my challenges, this is really no help at all because I can't use it for profit nor food, but it's nice to look at. Besides that, I actually needed to complete the CC bundle, so I guess there's that. I collect my steel hoe from Clint's, and now I will have an easier way of farming for some clay. So I head on over to the mines and repeat floor 81, as there's a really nice patch of tillable dirt right beside the ladder. I do this all day, which nets me about 25 pieces of clay, which is nothing really compared to what you can do with actual clay farming, but still. Day 69, Sunday, nice, is my first trip to the Skull Caverns. I pack a bunch of bombs and food and all the preparation that I can scrounge up and hope for the best. Here is the breakdown. I get lucky around 420 and find a treasure chest that nets me about 5 warp totems for the farm. Such a good score. It's a good luck day too, so I get a decent amount of holes to jump down several floors, and I get a decent amount of ore patches, even though I'm not really deep down. I get some decent loot here and there from crates, but unfortunately around 710, due to my carelessness, I get knocked out by a mummy that does a whopping 38 damage. Oof, that's like a third of my health. To be honest, I thought I would survive them, but oh well. I didn't lose anything too serious at least. Anyways, I had enough resources to craft 4 more dehydrators, bringing the total of dehydrators to 14. Day 70. Since the initial arrangement of the hydrators were a little bit messy, I decided to rearrange them. Unfortunately, I misclicked one to the side, that's why it seems like one is missing, and I don't think I realized this until later while I was playing, so oops, did you notice it? Do you see where it is? I'll give you a second. There it is, not too difficult to spot, but I had no idea why I couldn't figure it out. I just thought it magically disappeared. Anyways, my pumpkins were ready for harvest, which meant another level up for farming was on the way. I headed over to Lear's to see her fighting with her ex-boyfriend from the big city and tried to comfort her, telling her that she's better off with me than him. To comfort her even further, I made sure to gift her favorite salad. Before heading over to the beach to spend another day fishing for attention and subscribers, I hit farming level 6 and make a decent 30k. Day 71. Today is the Stardew Valley Fair, and since I don't really have anything really of value, I take my iridium quality eel and 8 gold super cucumbers. Hopefully that'll be enough for me to win the fair. While waiting, I decided to try out my skills in the slingshot game. Kinda sucked, but trust me, I was pretty good at this game before. It just, I'm rusty, okay? After that is done, the judging of the goods is done, and I get second place, which isn't bad at all, scoring me 500 star tokens. I also buy an additional 400 tokens for a very expensive 20,000 G, and immediately bet it all on green and double my tokens. I bet another 1,000 right after on green, and gain the 3,000 tokens I need for the star drop and the prize ticket. Normally I would get the rare crow here, but I decided that I can always pick up the rare crow later. Day 72 to day 84. The next couple of days are just me taking care of chores on the farm, such as chopping wood, collecting from crab pots, harvesting crops, chucking in mushrooms and sometimes fruits in the dehydrator, and you get the picture. So I won't bore you with all the details and let you know the important events and the corresponding days. Fall 18th, I've harvested enough from the crab pots, making me hit fishing level 9. Just one more fishing level away from max. I also make a profit, about 26k. On fall 19th, I decided to finally build a fishing pond as I needed to complete one of the community center bundles. Fall 20th, I catch a sandfish for the community center, and fall 21, my fishing pond is done, so I make it in the new home for my rainbow trouts. I also make another easy 25k from tappers and dried mushrooms. After a couple of days of fishing on fall 22nd, I hit fishing level 10. I pick Lure Master, but it really doesn't matter what I pick at this point, as it's pretty much the same as last time. I can't really do anything related to fishing. Fall 24th, I finished the prismatic jellyboard quest. I purposely did this as I wanted the monster mask to be able to farm more dust sprites and monster loot. Fall 25th, I gave a sweet gem berry to the statue in the secret woods for another delicious star drop, and also sell more forage and the like for about cool 55k, slowly moving up in profit. Fall 26th, I decided to make another round of donations to the community center. I first complete the ocean fish bundle, then the night fish bundle. I also donate the sandfish for the specialty fish bundle, and I didn't realize this while I was playing, but you can only catch the pufferfish in the ocean from the beach in summers, besides the traveling card that is, so that means I'll have to wait until next year to complete the CC. Oh well. I complete the helpless bundle, a new bundle added in the 1.6 update, which nets me an awesome star drop tea. I also donate a couple of items to the artesian bundle as well. And lastly, I complete the rare crops bundle and also the fall crops bundle as well. And on fall 27th, I make sure to complete the maze puzzle for the mandatory golden pumpkin on the Spirit's Eve festival. And on the last day of fall, I get greeted by Leah, presenting me with the wooden sculpture and getting ready for my very first winter in the valley. Winter is going to be a slow season, as I won't be able to gather any more moss to further expand my mushroom empire. Still, I decide to make the most of it, and on my very first day of winter, I go ahead and upgrade my house, and then spend the next couple of days at the mines to grind for all the ores and coal that I need. I make sure to also purchase the lava katana and the space boots, as I want to boost my fighting capabilities to quicker my leveling and grinding. I make sure to use monster mask whenever I can, as I want to increase the amount of mobs that spawn in the cave as well, as I really want to get the burglar's ring as quickly as possible. On winter 3rd, I hit combat level 8 and mining level 10, and my house upgrade is completed on the 4th. I also eliminate my 500th dust sprite around 11 PM, which nets me the long-awaited burglar's ring. This will further help me with getting more coal from the dust sprites and still gaining a bunch of bat wings and slimes from the slimes to even create more monster mask. I also try to get as much as essences as possible, as I want to craft more mega bombs for future cavern runs as well. On winter 5th, I finally build my first coop, as I want to get started on collecting the eggs required for the CC. I then donate a few items for the chef's bundle, the field research bundle, and complete the Spirit's Eve bundle as well, and complete the winter forage bundle. Just a little bit more and we'll be done with repairing the CC, which means access to the quarry is gonna be finally unlocked. To be honest though, I really don't get too much about the quarry, and I barely make use of it. I return home and plant down the winter seeds I got, as I wanted some additional forage to use later down the road. I make a sell of 87,000. Sad 6. I know I said I don't really make use of the quarry, but I couldn't resist just blowing everything up with mega bombs. So satisfying. If there was one awesome use of the quarry, this would definitely be it. I mean, there are a lot of other uses, but this is just my favorite one. I also head down into the dangerous mines of the quarry to pick up the golden scythe as well. On winter 7th, I head to the piers and buy 100 packets of wheat flour for the CC, as I couldn't be bothered to plant the wheat and make a mill for it. Winter 8th, I wanted to head to Cinesap Forest to do some foresting, but actually stumbled upon the Festival of Ice. Having nothing better to do, I decided to participate and dominated the contest with 5 big slimy fish. Well, it wasn't a huge haul, but fishing isn't my forte. On the 9th, my coop is finally done, so it's time to build a barn as well. I head to Barney's to buy some chickens, but of course she isn't open. I swear, if she spent at least half the time at the shop instead of messing around with Mayor Lewis. Anyways, I return the next day and buy the essential supplies I need, such as shears, pails, and heaters. Actually, I don't really need the shears, don't know why I bought that one. Then, after buying a bunch of hay, I go ahead and buy 4 chickens. Winter 12, my barn is now done, so it's time to buy 2 cows. I didn't buy 4 of them as they were just quite too pricey. Then it's back to the mines for the grind. I hit combat level 9. Winter 13th, I expand my winter wild foraging farm and decide to spend all the tickets I got for some extra rewards. I currently amassed 10 tickets and was looking forward to seeing what kind of rewards I got. Besides that, it was back to grinding for some more resources and taking care of the farm chores till the 15th. This is when I upgraded my barn, as I will need to buy pigs for the truffle I need for the CC. Winter 16th, I finally had enough large eggs for the community center, so it was time to say bye-bye to the chickens. So after collecting the last eggs, I sold off each chicken. Wanting to take my mind off the grind, I headed to the beach later in the evening for the night market festival, one of my most favorite festivals. There wasn't really much to do here for me, as I wasn't really interested in buying things or fishing, but I stayed around for the scenery and bought a couple of decor items for later. Winter 17th, I got the last upgrade for my barn, upgrading it to a deluxe barn. Winter 19th, the upgrade was done, which meant I could finally get a pig. It won't be able to get me truffles now, but it does have to grow up, so I decided to get it now rather than later. I also decided to demolish my coop, as it was very important space, which I would need later for more trees and mushroom boxes. I hit farming level 8 and make about 150k worth of sales. Not bad. Winter 22nd was a good luck day, which meant it was time to hit the skull caverns. I ate the only magic rock candy I had and stacked my slingshot, a plethora of bombs, and food. I headed down to try my luck. Here is a little montage of my expedition. And by 12 PM, I hit floor 200. Here are the spoils that I got from that run alone. It could have been much better, but 364 iridium ore and 5 prismatic shards along with a bunch of loot is not bad. Plus, I still had a surplus of bombs remaining, overall pretty satisfactory. I exchanged my rubies for some spicy eel, some iridium for bombs, turn my prismatic shard into a galaxy sword, and head on home. The next day, I have gathered all the milk I need for the run, so after milking my cows for the last time, it was time to say bye-bye to them as well. I also gave Leah, who was now my girlfriend, yes, this happened behind the scenes as I was constantly gifting her and talking to her every chance I got, a salad which finally made me 10 hearts with her. Now all I had to do was wait for a rainy day next year for the mermaid's pendant. Winter 24th, I have enough items to complete the Home Cooks bundle and also to finally finish the Artesian bundle and the Fish Farmers bundle as well. This means I get to unlock the coveted greenhouse. Spoiler alert, the greenhouse initially just becomes a glorified coffee farm, but it does get its uses later down the road. Anyway, since I have a lot of cash left, I head to the bookseller and buy a couple of books. I then also head home and upgrade all my chests into the newer, bigger chests to neatly organize and fit everything. I also make sure to demolish the fish pond as I have no more use for it. On Christmas, I make sure to plant all my coffee in the greenhouse before heading on out to give Abigail a Star Drop tea for a Secret Santa. Unfortunately, I didn't get an awesome gift in return, as all I got was an emerald from Caroline. Is this because she has green hair? After Christmas, the huge wooden tree falls, and I spend hardwood to repair it into a nice home for the wild animals. Although someone does move in later, I don't do anything or proceed this quest further, so I won't be bringing it back up. I then donate a bunch of items to the museum, crack open all my geodes, treasure chest, and mystery loot boxes. There's just something satisfying and therapeutic about opening the geodes and donating items. I guess it's just a nice break from all the grinding that I've done so far. And like that, my first year in Stardew Valley comes to a close. That is a wrap on life as a lumberjack in Stardew Valley. What, you saw the runtime and you're asking where the rest of the video is? There's still more footage to be seen? Fine. I want to half-ass this run and make sure to complete everything that I said that I would do in this video. Happy? Don't blame me if this video takes like a month or two. You asked for it. Spoiler alert, it actually did take 2 months. Because I'm guessing this runtime of the video by now is ridiculously long, I'm going to speed run through most of what I've done in year 2 and cover the most important parts only. Well, technically I've been doing that until now, but it's going to be a bit more cut and precise. You can just assume that every day I'm doing all that I have done until now, such as tending to the farm chores, mining, fishing, and all that jazz for level ups and like. And as you can see in the background, this is how the farm looks like right now. Anywho, I begin the first day of spring by buying and planting a bunch of crops in deluxe speed grow from peers. I want to level up farming to level 10. Well, I want all my skills to be level 10 as I want to gain access to the mastery rewards. And I'll explain why when we get to it shortly. On Wednesday the 3rd, I do a Skull Caverns run with Monster Musk and kill all the monsters I can and hit level 10 in fighting. So close to getting all my skills to level 10. I also finally get a truffle, well, actually 2 on the 4th, which means I don't need the pig in the barn anymore. It's also a rainy day, so I head to the beach and buy a mermaid's pendant, and pop the big question to Leah, which she naturally accepts. I also decide to build my very first shed. Initially, I wanted to make it to place a bunch of mushroom stumps in it, but for now, I don't have any use for it. So it will just sit idly until I have need for it. Finally, on the second year, 7th of spring, I get married to Leah. I also go ahead and build a second shed. Still have no idea what I'm gonna use these for and don't know why I'm building them. On the 8th, I decide to craft some kegs and get some coffee production going as I want to move faster. On the 10th, I gain farming level 9. On the 14th, I gift Leah a star drop tea which nets me 12 hearts and I get rewarded with another star drop. I also sell a bunch of goodies and make a decent 240k. The next couple of days I get treated to the new desert festival. This was quite exciting as I avoided all the spoilers I could and came to the festival completely blind. It was quite an interesting and awesome feeling as it kind of reminded me of when I first played Stardew Valley. On the 24th, I decided to take a break from work and treat my wife and went with Leah to the flower festival. On the 25th, I upgraded my axe to iridium quality, which was done on the 27th. In turn, I upgraded my hoe to gold. I also stumbled onto 2 of Leah's hot events. I'm not sure which hot events they are, but they are quite enjoyable, as this was the first time I've ever romanced Leah. After my painting lesson with Leah and drawing a monstrosity, I decided to hide it in the chest and never speak of it again. Last day of spring, I made a $250,000, which brought my total net profits to $1 million. Day 141 to 168. Finally, summer is here once more. I've been really looking forward to the second year of summer for 2 reasons. Reason 1, because I really needed to catch a pufferfish for the community center, which I managed to get on the very first day. This means I could finally wrap up the fish tank bundle. I also complete the chef's bundle, but can't finish the field research bundle as I realized the Nautilus shell can only be found in winter. Well, back to the waiting game I guess. And reason 2 is the green rain, which means I can forage for a bunch of moss. I get quite lucky and I get the green rain on the 5th, so I make sure to save up all the moss on the farm and also near the train station, which I planted a plethora of trees. And with all my speed boosts, I even managed to head to Cinesap Forest as well. I managed to scrounge up 630 moss before passing out at 2 AM. Sat 6th, I buy 400 red cabbages and 400 deluxe speed grow from peers and get to work planting all of them in the greenhouse and on the farm. I also have a bunch of trees, so I plant them in the greenhouse as well. On the 9th, I upgrade my house one more time. On the 11th, I head to the beach luau and chuck in a gold super cucumber, which pleases the mayor and everyone in town. My red cabbages are already on the 13th, which finally lets me have enough experience points to claim a mastery in foraging, which finally means I can be able to craft 10 mystic tree seeds and plant them down. I still need to craft much more, so I make sure to cut down a lot of the trees on my farm to gather the seeds in order to do so. I'm able to make 16 in total for today, and I also placed some wooden lampposts for some decor and lighting. These by far are my most favorite decor torch items. I spent the next couple of days organizing the farm, chopping down all the trees and making a bunch of new mushroom stumps around the mystic tree patch. As you can see, I'm trying to lay down the final layout for the design of the base. It isn't worthy of praise, but it's slow work in progress and hopefully it doesn't turn out as bad as I think it will. On the 21st, I gather enough points for my second mastery, and I decide to pick farming as I want the access to the iridium scythe, which will speed up the harvesting process. Wednesday 24th, as you can see from here on out, my greenhouse will be used to plant only fall wild crop seeds. These forageables are by far the best and most useful, as all the produce from this can be turned into artesian goods through kegs and jars, and also it has mushrooms to be used for the dehydrator as well. And on the last day of summer, I make 740k. Money really ain't an issue anymore. Days 169 to 196. Fall is another awesome season for me as it allows me to plant and harvest wild forage. Like I previously mentioned, all the produce made through this is all useful stuff, so this will be my go-to. On fall 2nd, Leah gives birth to our very first born baby, Albert. Saturday 6th, this is the mushroom I get from the mystic trees. It's a lot of purple mushrooms. On the 12th of fall and the next couple of days, I continue laying down more paths and decorations to finalize the design of the farm. I wait for all the mystic trees to grow so that I will put tappers on them and they are all synchronized. I also make sure to completely fill up the train station with trees. By the 17th of fall, I'm nearly done with the design. Since I'm Lumberjack, I don't want to use anything too excessive when it came to the design and wanted to stick with a very wooden type of theme. It's kind of boring, yeah, I know, but for me I really like it. And since I've been playing on this one farm for countless hours, I'd rather play on a farm that I also enjoy seeing. On Saturday 20th, I get my very first batch of Mystic Syrup. It's not too important, but for me it was quite the milestone. Saturday 27th, I get enough mastery points for another level up and choose to go with the mining profession this time. I also hit the Spirit Aid Festival and actually had a hard time to complete the maze this time. It was quite the first time I've actually done this new layout, so it was quite a challenge. On the last day of fall, I made 1.6 million. The end is near. It is the last winter of this playthrough. Here in my greenhouse, you can see my kegs and preserve jars hard at work. Once again, not important, but I just wanted to show you. Appreciate my hard work, please. Anyways, on the second day of winter, I finally get myself a Nautilus shell, which means I finally get to complete the community center. I'm not done, however, as I still have a lot of things to do until the end of this season to finalize the design and earn as much money as possible. So, on the third day of winter, I buy some decor items and try my best to spruce up the place a little bit. It isn't the best, but I guess I will change it later. I work hard until the end of the season, planting winter forage seeds for crystal fruits, a bunch of kegs and jars to turn my foraging fruits into profitable items, and soon the year ends. Here, follow me, and let me take you around how much we have accomplished. This was by far a lot of work, probably one of my biggest projects for YouTube till now. Overall, I'm quite satisfied and I had so much fun playing this run. Being only limited to wood, forage and mushrooms was definitely challenging, but it wasn't something too new as I did something similar with my no leaving the farm challenge run I did a while back. Although I got to marry the girl, complete the CC and earn a couple of $1 million, am I satisfied with everything I've done so far? To be honest, no, not really. There is just so much more I want to do with this run. I want to build and craft even more mushroom boxes and so much more mystic trees. Hell, I haven't even got to Ginger Island yet. I want to go there and plant a bunch of fruit trees there as well. I didn't even get a heavy tapis yet. There's just so much more I can do with this thematic run, and I'm contemplating doing a perfection run of this run. But that will be probably way down the line, as this one kinda got me burned out. I know I will always say this in my videos, but working a full-time job from Monday to Saturday and only having a couple of hours to spare each day is quite challenging to pump out YouTube videos on a regular basis. But I'm so thankful if you have made it this far. And if you haven't yet, it would mean so much to me if you subscribed and liked the video, as that really motivates me to make more content. Let me know what kind of thematic run you'd want to see next. This has been Requiem of the Indiemasters. Have a great day, everyone.